Hello, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Paul, and we're the guys behind the lawofattraction.com and Greater Minds.
We never wanted to make this video, and for years we've been happy to stay behind the scenes helping you live a richer and more fulfilling life.
We're actually very private people, but now is the time.
We've both been feeling an overwhelming urge to release our own fears and share exactly how we manifested the largest law of attraction community in the world.
And what motivated us was you, your stories, your challenges, and your love has helped us to realise that even though we bring you the greatest teachers, there's an even bigger lesson that we can share.
After all, we're just two ordinary guys and we're not gurus or sages. Neither of us talk to spirits or angels.
I mean, we forget to meditate, we eat pizza, we drink beer, and we make mistakes, but yet we still manage to live amazing lives.
But it hasn't always been like this. We've made mistakes, experienced times that we felt like giving up, times we felt lost.
And we wanted to tell you our story, the story of how we were able to change our lives forever. I grew up bouncing between two life situations. It was either little or nothing. My family taught me that if you wanted to get ahead in life, you had to work for it. The harder you work, the better. I did struggle at school, and I was never top of the class, even though I worked my butt off. And ironically, I failed miserably in business class, which is now something I'm proud to say in the real world I'm very good at. Thankfully, in spite of my grades, I managed to get into university. Being programmed by my family, friends and the media, I did struggle. To me and everyone around me, life was hard work or fail. So that's what I did. I was determined to work harder than anyone else and not fail. To make ends meet, I passed out flyers on street corners. I'd work long hours at the student bar. I'd sell ponchos to the wealthy at Wimbledon, and I'd even volunteer for free crazy haircuts to trainee hairdressers. I was seriously broke and I did whatever I had to do to make ends meet. Living paycheck to paycheck, I had one goal: get through school, hopefully without choking on more debt. I'd often ask myself, is this all that there is to life? Then in 2003, something happened that shook my entire world. I was on the Heathrow Express train from Paddington, handing out flyers to passengers, when an unassuming man, quietly reading his book, stops me. He could see that I was grafting, but he still wanted to talk. So I figured, why not? There was something about this guy. He asked me some very thought-provoking questions about love, career, ambition, and where I'm going in life. He was very far from the normal train passenger, and I had no burning desire for the ride to be over. I made no attempt to get more work done while waiting, and I remember thinking, this fella's a thinker. He was simply enjoying himself in life. I didn't hand out another flyer that day, and as the train came into the station, he leans into me and shares one final snippet of wisdom, and he said, read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Still drunk from his intoxicating words and influence, I instantly agreed and was flooded with gratefulness. This was one of those moments you see in movies. Never could I have imagined how insanely accurate my instincts were. I learned more life-altering secrets from that single book than I had in my entire life, including all of my time at university. Graduating with an honours in computer science was so much less fulfilling than I'd hoped. The 3 years spent at university added zero clarity to what I wanted from life. No steps forward, and if anything, a few steps backward with my new school debt. I was now desperate to figure out my purpose and to stop acting like the poor dad in that amazing book. For a while, until I slipped back into my conditioning, working hard again, working hard, determined that I would never end up chained to a desk. But no matter how hard I worked, things were not getting any better. I just worked harder and harder and harder. But then, the second biggest day of my life happened. My girlfriend at the time insisted we go to Greece on holiday. She had no problems with taking a break and having fun. I, on the other hand, had no real job and my student loan wasn't getting any smaller. I was like, hell no. That was my first answer, but something in my intuition was yelling back at me, you have to go. So I struggled, even with that decision, right up to the very moment the plane landed in Greece. But what happened next changed everything.
At 10 years old, I scribbled a voucher for my parents, promising to one day take them on a private helicopter to my beachfront villa. A little boy in his pajamas, promising to take care of his parents like every little boy probably does. I just dreamed bigger. I always have. I was a very ambitious child. I'd often tell people when they asked that I wanted to be a millionaire when I grew up. A dream most of us probably have. But I had a plan. Get through high school, skip university, and just be rich. Simple, right? All I ever really wanted to do was start my own business. But in '99, life made me some alternate plans. At 18, I found out I was going to be a dad, the happiest and scariest moment of my life. By 19, my brilliant plans were all but gone and I was just flat broke. I'd get my paycheck on the first of the month and I'd be sure we'd be good this week, and I'd be lucky if our pay lasted 2 days. My girlfriend and I had to borrow money constantly to survive. My dreams of becoming a financially free entrepreneur who travelled the world were replaced with dreams of just having a good steak or a car that would not break down. Even in my crazy desperation though, my passion for my own business was smouldering in my heart, like a fire that just needed a little air to take off. I spent the days with my girlfriend and baby girl and evenings studying every business book I could. Sleep was a luxury if I was able to get any of it. Working at my job 9 to 5, I recognised that I was just a tiny invisible cog in the corporate machine. I was just so unhappy, so unfulfilled, and there was no way I wanted this for anyone else. I needed to get out, but I just did not know how yet. So I searched lunch breaks in my car reading business books, hypnosis cassettes from Nightingale Conant on my Sony Walkman. I poured through Richard Branson's autobiography looking for any secret that would free me. I knew his life story off by heart. My life was just spiralling out of control. I was $30,000 in debt and rising fast. By 2001, my small side business that was going nowhere though actually started to make money, and quickly it turned into more money than my day job. My boss said, "You're not worth that much, Andrew, it's gonna fail." I took his challenge and I made a leap of faith. And with the support of my family, I quit my job. It was one of the best days of my life. Looking back now, I know why I wasn't afraid, because no matter what, I knew I was gonna make this work. I just had to, right? Every waking moment I spent working was so rewarding. It was for myself, my family, and for the future. After years of hard work, I managed to scale my small business and we jumped off the debt merry-go-round. I started to live what I thought was a pretty good life. I was getting comfortable though, so in 2003, to challenge myself and ensure I didn't get too comfortable, I promised myself I'd say yes to more opportunities that the universe sent. So when my brother called me out of the blue, invited me on a last-minute vacation to a tiny Greek island I'd never heard of with some friends, as much as I knew I couldn't really afford it and I shouldn't do really, I had made a promise to myself. I had to say yes. Little did I know, I was about to learn that everything that happened so far happened for a very specific reason. So the universe has a way of getting what it wants if we're willing to step out of the way. So I'm famished and we decide to hit a very popular restaurant on that small Greek island. When we arrived, the queue was just so long. The waitress came over and assumed that our small group and the small group behind us are together. She offered us the only table left. I tell her that our groups are separate, but at that moment I look at the group behind us and I see Paul. He seems like a nice enough guy, and I just say, "We can sit together, can't we?" And Paul agreed too. That split-second decision was pivotal in our lives, and the day that I believe fate stepped in.
Yeah, and when we sat together, I was blown away. Andrew and I just clicked. Sometimes you meet your soulmate, and other times you can meet a mate who just clicks with your soul. We shared our passion for business, personal development, and our relentless drive to pursue an extraordinary life. And of course, as the universe would have it, we were practically neighbours. I found my mind throughout the whole holiday just wandering back to our very aligned conversations, and I promise to keep in touch.
So back in London, it wasn't long before an opportunity came up for us to reconnect and see where it went. My business had long taken off, and I loved sharing my journey and insights with Paul. He was ready, willing, eager, and clearly a hard worker. So all of this quickly led to us starting our first business together.
And then the next few years, they were a whirlwind of successes and failures. We tried several projects, some flourished, some just never took off. We were definitely heading in the right direction, but something was missing.
Yeah, our successes were amazing, but limited. For some reason, we kept hitting the ceiling, and no matter how hard we tried, our biggest hits, it just felt empty.
So we did a little soul searching. Well, actually, we did a lot of soul searching, and the funny thing is, neither of us cared about the money. I mean, we did at one point, but now it wasn't important at all.
And there's one thing that everyone can agree about the universe. If you don't pay attention to the signs it sends you even bigger signs. And if you ignore them long enough, you get a nice slap in the face. And that's exactly what happened. Our entire industry and business completely tanked overnight.
It's crazy, we just asked for a sign on what we should do, and boom, our business imploded, and the new signs to build something better and bigger flooded us with one clear message: create a greater impact. We stood back and reviewed our lives.
We realised that every moment on our journeys, from my unexpected parenthood
To meeting a stranger on a train,
to our chance encounter on that remote Greek island,
this wasn't about our business at all.
none of this was a coincidence,
Every single success was a guide.
and every failure was a blessing.
These things happened for us.
Not a single event happened to us. We both knew that the best way to create a greater impact on the world was to share what helped us during times that we felt the most lost, the most frustrated, and especially at times when the universe completely stacked everything against us.
Something magical happens when you visualize a goal, dream bigger, make a plan, take action, and allow yourself to be guided in flow by the universe. And that is how the idea of Greater Minds was born.
Now, our mission is to empower 100 million amazing people just like you to live healthier, happier, and more importantly, more fulfilling lives. We want to share practices and programs that can help you become the greatest version of yourself, which is literally a small mind shift away, a small mind shift into a greater mind.
We're going to continue bringing you great experts like Catherine Hurst, Joe Vitale and Bob Doyle. We'll seek out the best trainers and educators for you, and as your hosts of our shared community, you can expect to hear a lot more from us at thelawofattraction.com as new and exciting plans unravel at Greater Minds.
We're going to reveal new trainings and change the way that motivation, manifestation, and personal growth is done forever.
And we want you to be an active participant in all of it.
We want to make sure that we're representing you and your actual needs.
Your struggles are our struggles.
Your obstacles are our obstacles to overcome.
Hey, you're in the driver's seat of this company and its programs and its mission, so please start getting used to speaking your voice. We're here to listen and take action. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we're so happy to share this journey with you.